There we go. I think we're live now. Let me just check if everything is good with the platforms. Okay. Okay. Yep. Events. Yeah. Seems to be working. People will tell us that. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining in. Okay. Yep. It's all good. Copy the link. So we're going to give people 2 or 3 minutes to join in. If you're joining this session, let us know in the comments if you can hear us. Send us a hello message. Let us know where you're from. We may have an international audience today, which is the usual
Makes sense.
thing. Yeah, that's the beauty of internet. Copy this link. There you go. Oh, it's so funny. I missed the shot. I should have gone live when you were still in the dark. That was the
That'd have made it very.
the perfect
Woo!
introduction. Yeah, absolutely. Hello, Sepcha. Makasih, Sepcha. Can you let us know if you hear us well in the chat?
Oh man, look, it lost the setting. Look at that. Interesting.
Yeah, so strange. Is it the first time that you're using joining a StreamYard or?
I don't think it is. It's just
Yeah.
losing the settings for some reason. It's forgetting.
Hmm.
It's forgetting everything I'm telling it to do. I look very dark. I look very foreboding. Like I almost look like I'm in one of those old mafia movies. The color scheme. All right.
Yeah.
All right, we'll settle with this.
Excellent. Thank you, Sepcha, for confirming us that you can hear us well. We will start in about 2 or 3 minutes just to give time to people to join us. If you have a couple of questions, get them ready for Justin. As you can see, this is a live stream. It's not a recorded video, so we flying with no safety nets here.
No safety nets. No second parachute.
Yeah, there's not even a first one. Like, okay.
We're gonna find some water, a body of water on our way down to landing.
Yeah. You can land on me. It's okay.
I appreciate that.
I'll sacrifice myself for the cause.
Appreciate that.
This will make it go viral. Okay, interesting. Business video. So I think everything is pretty much working in here. Let's go. Let's give people 2 more minutes to join in, and we will be able to start. There you go. Let me send like one last message here. Let's go. Okay, perfect. Everything is ready. We have everyone. Yes. Let's give it a shot. So again, welcome everyone. If you're joining this session or if you're watching this session, that was a live session for the people who are watching the recording, and we'll take a little bit of time so you can meet Justin and discover who is Justin and what does he do, and answer your questions. Essentially, this is what we're going to do. So we'll keep the format really simple, try to make it short. I never met this promise. It was all supposed to be 30-minute sessions, but then everything got out of control and people want to talk more, people want to ask more questions, people want to answer more questions, but
Yeah.
the goal is 30. Let's see if we can meet it, but if we can't, I mean, that's not a big deal. Hi, how's it going, Justin?
Good. It's going well, Riley. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here today. We met, I would say, about a month or 2 ago.
Sounds right.
And I remember you did something really cool. We had a really quick conversation in the DMs and say, hey, you know what? Let's video chat. Let's get to know each other. And we took a 15, 20 minutes time to talk and discover each other. And we found a lot of common points. And this is one of the reasons why I love taking the time to talk to people is that there is so much more behind a post or a piece of content if you just take the time to scratch a little bit the surface.
Mhm.
I discovered that you were fluent in French, or you were speaking French.
Mhm. Oui.
Can you can
Oui, je peux
Merci.
parler français un petit peu, mais c'est difficile pour moi parce que I have a 12-year-old's level of French. I left France when I was 13 years old. So it's a little challenging speaking French again.
Yeah. Oh, it's so funny because my previous session was with Septia, and Septia left Indonesia and spent a couple of years in France. And there's like kind of a pattern. People seem to believe that I only invite people who are partially or fully
Yeah.
bilingual. That's not the case. Honestly, I that was not my plan. It just happens.
You're gonna
I'm
find
not so.
all the French or people who have lived in France folks. That's your audience, a very niche within a niche. The
Yeah,
startup scene.
absolutely. Absolutely. And Sepcha says your accent is amazing. So
Thank you, Sepcha. Appreciate that.
how did you so what if you can share that with us? How did you end up in France? What is the
Yeah.
story behind that?
Yeah, the story is pretty simple. My parents, my father was called to missions to be able to plant a church near Paris, in Essonne, which is south of Paris, 30 minutes south. And so he did that, married my mother, and then they had me. And so I grew up in that environment. And then we left France in 2001 when I was about 13 years old.
Okay, very interesting. Have you had a chance to go back since you got married and have
Yeah,
family?
two chances. So it's not since I got married. Um, Although I'd love to. I'd love to take my wife. So I'm married twice. And so I'd like to take my wife, Tia, to France. It's one of my dreams. So I just gotta make more money, man. You make more money in the business, and then I'll have a nice pool
Yeah,
of cash saved up for a trip to Europe.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, forget it this year with the Olympics. I mean, the
Oh,
prices are going
that's
to go.
right. That's this year. Yeah.
Olympics in Paris happening this summer. Yeah, don't go to Paris during that
That's
time.
gonna be a mess. Holy
It's
cat.
gonna be a mess. It's gonna be terrible, terrible. Yeah. And so when I discovered you, I discovered what you were doing. So you are into the video business,
Mhm.
and I would like to know more about that. So how do
Yeah.
you so how do you present what you do? And I want to challenge you a little bit. How do you present what you do to your youngest kid?
Okay. So I help people get other people to like them and to know them through video by helping them shoot some videos.
Okay,
And
so
that gets them new
yeah.
business, and that's why
Okay.
people do business with them.
That's how you explain this to your youngest kid?
I've never tried, but if that's where I would, I'm going to. It's actually funny because I've been thinking about a video. I've seen this done, like interview your kids and ask them what they think you do. So this ties into that. You're reminding me. I'm going to write it down right now. Content
Yeah.
idea. We'll go live on the call.
Go ahead. Go ahead. My friends call me the ID box.
Yeah.
Hello, Jovan. How's it going? Welcome to the live stream. For you, it's an English lesson. I believe Jovan is a French
Okay.
king of customer service, um, and practicing intensively his English. So this live stream is gonna be nice for him. Sorry.
Good.
Excellent. Yes. So why have you decided to go into this field of work?
Well, I discovered when I did this a year ago. So we do video a little differently. I'll start by answering your question. Like when I say video, it's a big word. It means a lot of things.
Absolutely.
We only do short form for social media. And we have a process where we interview the client and we draw out their expertise and we turn that into short form video for LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, doesn't matter. And the reason I got into this, how I got into it, I've been in marketing for a long time. Since 2010, I started my career for nonprofit. I did all the marketing things. I was the solo marketing guy for like a company of $4 million US in annual revenue. I was the only marketing guy. Then I moved to a different company. I was the only marketing guy for a company of $60 million, and then grew them to 90 million, helped grow them to 90 million. And so I've been in marketing a long time and kind of used video as well as part of what I did. And it was about a year and a half ago, we had a client come to us and say, hey, we want to do some video. This was a broker in LA, and a very, very well-known broker, the number one broker in the United States today, actually. And they didn't want to pay the exorbitant cost of flying us out there and doing the video on site. And I just come across the software called Riverside that allowed us to capture high quality video and audio remotely. And so we just used their webcam, and later on ended up using their phone for better quality purposes. But just used their webcam and asked them questions, interviewed them, and got some answers about what the market's like, why buy a home, all the kind of things that are typical like Instagram or LinkedIn posts. And then we turn those into edited videos that we also that the client posted to their Instagram profile, and all of a sudden they went from getting like maybe 80 to 100 views on a little video about buy this home, right? It's a little video of a home, and it's not really much of a video. It's more of an animated graphic. Getting 100 views on that to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 views on him just talking about what he did, and the exact same information, just him talking about it. And it got me realizing like, wow, by just changing up the medium to video, it just changes the way people want that information. Not all the time, but in his case, it worked beautifully, and it was just in his Instagram feed. So it got me realizing there might be a market here for people that could easily take video with their own phones, but they don't have the time. They don't know what to say. They don't want to get into editing. Can we bridge all those gaps? And the short answer is yes, we can. And the last year has been a year of experimenting how to do that well. And so I'm a year into this.
Okay. That's brilliant, because essentially, and again, I'm gonna use a metaphor around food, because French.
Of course you have to.
So essentially, there's this raw broccoli, and people don't want to eat it.
Yeah.
And so you just chop it down, add a little bit of spices, and you create a dish around it. But it's essentially the same broccoli. You just cooked it and made a dish out of it, so that people can really enjoy it.
That's right. Yeah, we're cooking broccoli around here. That's right, and asparagus and everything else.
Exactly. And I picked the green one, especially because it goes with your artistic direction.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I'm gonna pause here. If you guys have any question for Justin today, use the chat and I'll pass on those questions to Justin. So to get back to the conversation, okay, so but what was exactly the problem they had? Do you remember how they were framing the problem?
So this was through an agency that hired me to do it for them. And the way the agency framed the problem was, we just know that video is going to be super important for him, because he is like the institution, the company was named after him. Like that's why people wanted to do business, because of him. It's not because of the company. And so the problem, the way they were seeing it was, he needs to be front and center. And I think it was a personal branding problem. It's a differentiation, and which is a differentiation problem, which is there's a lot of brokers out there, a lot of big firms with no names. There's a lot of banks you can work with that have brokering, but why do you want to work with this guy specifically? And video was a way they wanted to bridge that gap of know, like, and trust, of getting people to get to know, why should I do business with this guy? Because B2B, I guess he's technically B2C being a broker, but especially in B2B, which is the market I serve now, you really need to have a lot of trust for someone to make a purchase from you. No one's going to drop $40,000 on your business just because you have a really great offer and 10% discount. It doesn't work like that. It's not like Amazon. You go in the cart, add $40,000 service to your cart, buy. It's very different. It takes months or years sometimes, depending on the industry, to build trust and get that sale. So video is extremely important for the B2B space, but it's underutilized. I'm getting beyond your question, but hopefully.
No, that's great. That's great. That's really interesting. That's a really interesting notion. And so what I really love about your service is you're close to a notion I talk a lot about in social media, which is that notion of bootstrap. And for those who are watching us, bootstrap is essentially instead of building a super costly solution, you use really accessible, affordable, easy to get, cheap, whatever you want, tools that are around you to create something of value. And and this is exactly what you're doing. You don't bring in the red camera, for people who know the brand, like it's super expensive stuff, and people don't need that, but they can still get value out of it. And as you mentioned, it's 10x, sometimes even 100x
Mhm.
return on on investment, and that's the beauty of it all.
Mhm.
And so my question is, do your customer are aware of this, and what is
Mhm.
their reaction when they discover that
Yeah.
they can create
Yeah.
beautiful video,
Yeah.
beautiful short videos with a webcam?
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because in many ways, anyone can do what I help them do to a point, but at least the recording part, right? Anyone can stand in front of the camera. Anyone can deliver those lines and with a good hook and be done in 60 seconds. Now, practically speaking, people don't, because there's the fear of, being on camera. There's the uncertainty what to say. They're too long. They say things or take too long. There's also this idea that people have. I don't know why they have it, but it's like, oh, I'm doing a video. I need to give a speech. I have to memorize the whole thing. They have to, and if they make one mistake, start over, which isn't the case. We have a way to get around that.
Yeah.
But people love that, the fact that I can come in and basically save their time. Like, it's an hour a month to produce all the videos they need for the month, which is anywhere, depending on the package, 4 videos, 5 videos to 12 plus. And it's a huge time saver. And people love that they have to buy zero equipment, or sometimes just a minimal amount of equipment. Sometimes we'll say, hey, buy this light, but we don't make any recommendations for equipment that we don't already own ourselves. That's not, none of it's expensive. We're not asking people to do DSLR purchases, for 2,000-3,000. We're asking them to use their phone because their phone has 4K. So, use your phone. It's got 4K already. You need a mic? Great. Here's a $20 mic. Here's an $80 mic, right? No one's breaking the bank. People love that. And at the end of the day, they're doing video that they know is helping them show up consistently online, which is the problem. It's not about the optimal quality, which some people want that. And we sometimes I have to struggle explaining that, like, hey, we're on a quality spectrum here of what's expected on social media. Nobody
Mm.
wants to listen to anything that has a terrible audio quality, but nor does anyone expect a movie. People know people just want value, non-distracting value, and that's what we aim for our clients. We aim for non-distracting value. The lighting's never going to be perfect. The sound may never be perfect, but if it's in line with the average other video in terms of quality, that's great. That's non-distracting, because at the end of the day, people don't come to you because you made a movie. They came to you because you're sharing value.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's also this notion of practice makes perfect. So
Yeah,
because you aim to make multiple videos with these people, they'll get comfortable speaking, they'll get comfortable sharing their messages, and let me know if I'm wrong, but the video number 10 is probably better than the video number 1.
absolutely. Yep. Yep.
But
That's absolutely right.
but you need to make those 10 videos so you can get to this point. And so you really push them to get the first videos out there, so there's like this muscle memory that's being built, and then you can get some of the results. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep. Yeah. And that's part of the service we provide for our clients. When we sign them, we say, hey, you can do this 1 month if you want. You can do it 1 month and be done, but it's like going to the gym 1 month. Like, you'll be sore and you won't see any of the value. You won't see any of the benefit. The benefit of this is doing it consistently. And so we don't hold anyone to a monthly contract or any contracts. We just say, we trust you'll do this over time if you value this. And we're not selling one-off video services. We're selling, the problem we solve is how to be consistent online with the best ROI thing you can do. Like, video is the best ROI. If you can do a text post, image post, does not matter. Video will outperform it every day specifically in terms of building trust on every platform. Now, it won't outperform it maybe in views, like on LinkedIn and things like that, because LinkedIn doesn't prioritize video like it prioritizes other mediums.
True.
But it will outperform it in terms of trust being built. If someone reads your post for 10 seconds and watches a video for 10 seconds, which one's going to build trust in you as a person faster? The video. We all know that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think I I wrote a post a couple of weeks ago about that, and I said, if you if for example you and me write the exact same post word for word and post at the same time and hiding our names, if we asked people who wrote what, nobody will be able to tell.
No, nobody knows our voice. Their voices, right? And it's important to have a voice, like a style. But with 8 billion people in the world, there's no way we're going around remembering who's got what style.
Absolutely. And words have no voices. So you have to play with what's unique in you, and it's your image, it's your voice, it's your mimics, it's the way you talk, and you should leverage that because that's one of the, one of the only way to really stick in someone's mind. Absolutely. No, no, I love that.
More and more so with AI coming out now, that's replicating the written voice. There's people I follow on LinkedIn, super smart people. I look up to them, but I'm really conflicted internally when I see that they put together these GPTs that can take your existing posts and spit them out as brand new posts, and you make one tweak and it sounds exactly like you. And I see that and I read that post and I'm thinking, okay, this has value. I could see where this would help people. But at the end of the day, I don't want to do business with a robot. I want to do business with you. So there's an
Yeah.
ethical dilemma there that I don't know. I'm in tension in that one. And maybe, because I wish I could use that and take it and run with it. But there's a certain amount of like, do I want to replace my voice with, do I really want to replace my content with a robot? And maybe now I do use ChatGPT to help me facilitate ideas and give me an idea. This is what I'm thinking. Okay, write a post. That's terrible, but that's great. That's all I needed to rewrite it and do something much better. But I don't know. I'm wondering if I'm going to be one of those laggards, those people that didn't ever want to switch the computer and just wanted to typewrite everything, and then it gets passed up. But I don't know, man. It's an interesting time we live in. But to your point, the point is, no one's going to know if it's your voice or not. You can copy, like I could do that. And think about it the other side too. Like I could take someone else's content, feed it through this GPT, and then say, now write about this in the context of this, which is what I do. And then all of a sudden now I'm an amazing writer and it's nothing I wrote. It's just using the GPT. It's using someone else. And that's going to happen if it's not already happening, where people are just taking writing styles and then they're just saying, take my undeveloped writing style, but talk about these things as if someone else is talking about it. And you've got beautifully written stuff that, isn't you talking. And at the end of the day, people are going to know that if they meet with you and they find out your ideas aren't as developed as the ones that you're writing about. And that's like a unique sliver, right? I'm just kind of venting about that. I'm processing that with you, Riley, but that's where I'm at with this thinking. I might sit more on a yes to AI fence later, but for now, that's what I'm thinking.
So my take on that, and before I answer, guys, it's a live stream, so if you have any questions for Justin, write them in the comment section, and I'll pass them to Justin. So my take on this is pretty simple. Now let me tell you a quick story. I was in a Twitter X Spaces 2 weeks ago, and someone asked me a question, and it was a really specific business question that the person had, and I started answering, blah blah blah, blah. And then I said, "Did I answer your question?" And the first thing that person told me was, "Wow, you're exactly like your videos." And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Well, I've taken some coaching of people who are super famous and have like a big audiences on social media, etc. But when I had them in front of me, they didn't have that energy that they were sharing with the content they were creating." And I gave them my answer, and I said, that's probably because the person is not writing the content. You cannot lie in face-to-face sessions. You cannot lie right now when we are talking. So that's also the big power of videos and making and creating the videos yourself. And this is something AI is not going to help you with. Even if tomorrow AI can make fully fledged business videos of us, the day your customer is in front of you, everything collapses.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just going higher in a building to jump out of the window.
I like that.
Yeah.
You're setting yourself up for failure if you expect to be the same on, in front of a client as you are, if they expect you to be the same in person or in a video.
Yeah.
versus what you're writing, or even let's say your AI videos. There are AI avatars already. There's one called Hey Gen. I'm going to test it out. It's a future piece of content where I record myself talking, and I'm going to do the little, head versus me with my hand movements. Like, can AI replace? And it's going to be it's going to be a straw man type, a beat up on AI for a little bit because it can't do what I want it to. But there's coming a day for sure. We've seen Sora by OpenAI. We've seen these things. There's coming a day where I can upload my footage and it can replicate me pretty well. Now, I don't know how it's going to do that perfectly. It probably won't, because you would have to upload hours of yourself. Because I do this movement, I do this movement, I do this expression. Like, how's it going to capture all that? It's not. But it's going to get better than just the talking like this. We've seen all those kind of avatar videos. But your point is still the same, which is people will want the real you when in the B2B space. They'll want the real you. They don't want your robot.
Exactly. At some point, when they get into your business, you're not just going to hand them a laptop and say, talk to the laptop.
Yeah. Or maybe we'll be in the consulting calls. They ask us a question. Oh, great question. Let me quick type. And you're putting it in the ChatGPT, and you're getting the ChatGPT answer to give you the answer. So you give them the answer.
And we will be in those situations, just like in the office, where you have like a no sound for 20 seconds. People will be like,
yep.
That's just terrible.
Put the elevator music on.
Exactly. Yeah. Let me just put the elevator music on. I'll be right back. You just run outside of the office, get your answer, come back. No, it cannot work. I always say, for the clients I help, I always say, don't automate something you cannot do by yourself. Automation is something you do when you want to scale, but learn the fundamentals, do the process yourself. And then once you have an idea of what you're doing, and you need to scale it out, then you can use those tools. Same thing for the videos. Like, learn to speak on a video, learn to produce videos, and then once you reach a point where you can say, I cannot produce that amount of content in that amount of time, then you can find those situations. But don't automate something you don't master, or at least understand.
Yeah. That's a really good lesson in life and in business. A lot of people delegate before they should be delegating. There's something to be said for doing the task before you start delegating it in business. Not always, but yeah, it's a similar problem.
Yeah, absolutely. Do we have any questions? Let us know if you have any questions for Justin today. Write those questions in the chat. I'll pass them so we can progress on this conversation. I would like, if you don't mind, I would like to get some secret sauce and secret recipes.
Sure.
So your claim is bold. You can make a month of content with just 1 hour.
Yeah.
What's behind that? Can you give us 2 or 3 elements to understand that?
Yeah. So it's a month of video content. And when I say month of video content, it's not 30 days. It's not 1 day, 1 video. It's when you are online, you don't need to produce every day. I mean, if you want to, you can, but it's impossible to create 30 days of video content in 60 minutes. You would have to just be like spitting it out. That's impossible. But what we are promising is that you are going to create enough content that when you spread it out over a month, it's going to be top of mind. It's going to be regular. It's going to be consistent. So the way we do that is very simple. I'll give you all the secret sauce. None of this is really secret. We prepare the questions we're going to ask in the session live. So the crux of what we do is really a live interview, similar to being on a podcast, except it would be a really weird podcast if you were to watch the whole thing, because our goal with it is to help you create individual shorts, a bunch of them. It's not have a whole conversation and then cut the best part and keep the best parts. That doesn't produce the most compelling, the most viral, the most interesting video content. Every so often you get a little gem. There's a nice tidy little beginning, middle, and end. But usually in podcast episodes, like when we're talking, it takes a few minutes to get from point A to point B to point C. So what we're doing is in that 1 hour, we're asking these questions of this person's expertise. We're coaching them on a hook, on the meaty middle, and the succinct summary, usually some kind of call to A. Like, if you like this video, be sure to check out my other video. Or if you like this video, DM me to get the checklist I just talked about. Anything like that. And we're producing a bunch of those shorts with them live. And the reason it works and the reason our clients love what we do is because it literally, like 90% of the problem is people don't know what to say, how to say it, and they don't make the time. because it's uncertain. Like, and
Yeah.
then also they've got the editing problem. So we take care of all those problems by just showing up. We got a block on your calendar. You show up to the call. We give you the coaching. Try this. Move the light around. Like, there's like 10 times more work with creating a video than a text post, which is why no one does video. But it's also why that's the opportunity. So, anyways, I'm getting off my pedestal there. It's a conversation. That's what makes it so productive.
Make it a conversation. Number one. Yeah.
Yep. Make it a conversation. And then we specialize in creating short form. It's not a long conversation, it's individual pieces. Cause again, it goes back to the point of like, the whole point of why do short form over a podcast. I'm not saying podcasts are bad. Podcasts are really good if you can add that to your strategy and make time for that. I do it for my business. But the point of short form video is that you show up consistently in someone's feed with the most high trust medium, and that is video. It's not audio, it's not text, it's not images, it's video. Unless you yourself are showing up on someone's door knocking, hey, it's me, there's nothing that's going to replace that except for video. Like, video is the next best thing. And so you can do that. That's the power. It's like powerful little injections of trust in your content throughout the month.
Awesome. Excellent. Before I get to the next question, I want to give you a little challenge. I would like you to finish the following sentence. Life is too short to. What would you say?
Life's too short to edit your own videos.
Life is too short to edit your own videos. Okay, I love it. I love it. So the other thing, to get back to the topic, creating 1 month of content, I think people are not aware of the compound effect. So what I mean by that is, let's say you make just two shorts in 1 month. The probability that at the end of the month, every single one of your followers in your audience that would have watched the video is close to zero. There's statistically zero chances that 100% of your followers would have watched one or two all the videos that you've shared this month. And so that means you can literally copy paste that video and pass it again the other month or maybe 2 months after. And so if you create consistently, let's say just 2 videos a month, by the end of the 4th month, it's not 2 videos, it's the addition of all those videos that you will be able to repurpose every single month. Because let's face it, in order for people to understand your message, you have to repeat. So that stack of video resources is actually growing more and more as you're producing them, and up to some point where, like you said, by spending one hour to create video for a month, maybe in 4 or 5 months, you will statistically have 30 videos to push.
You'll more than that. You'll have multiple per day if you really want to start doing it, right?
Yeah.
It adds up. You're right. The compounding effect adds up. Yeah, our clients start at 4 to 5 videos a month at our starter package, which is like, oh, that's not very much, but it's 1 per week. So it's designed for folks that are already doing the other stuff. They just want to have that little bit of a start into video. But then we have the ones that at some point you reach your cap of how much you can produce in 1 month. Like, no one can produce that much. So sorry, might get a notification on a focus session going off here. So it is, there's a cap you can do in an hour, but that's about as much time as I spend on my content, is about an hour a month when I record my own video content. And I've got plenty to go around along with my other content. I'm not saying video only. I don't want anyone to think, oh, just video will solve my problem. No, you need a mix of video or a mix of content, right? But if you do video first, which is more what I'm talking about, I'm not saying video only, I'm saying video first, you create that video, then you take the transcript. You can also, this is another benefit, create a text post, create an image post, create a carousel. Like, you can riff off of that.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm going to do with ours. Like, when we're done here, I'm going to say, hey, Riley, can you send me the video? I'm going to take the transcript and I'm going to take all of the points I made, right? And I'm going to take them, I'm going to turn them into text posts, image posts, videos. I'm actually going to make some of these as videos. So I'm like, ooh, I got more to say about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a ripple effect of making videos or posts. Yeah, like you said, you can sublime the content by leveraging different mediums. So true. We have a question from Septia, and Septia is asking, what kind of video content is the most effective to build trust?
So that's a very good question, Septia. There is no right answer. When you think about trust, it depends. It depends. So think about it depends on your audience. It depends on your audience. It depends what their goals are. It depends on what the problems you solve. At the end of the day, when we help our clients, we're helping them build trust in you as a service provider, as a thought leader, as a knowledge worker, somebody that has the information. People want to do business with you or with your firm, right? And if you're at a certain size, not everyone can work with you, right? Not everyone can work with Tony Robbins unless you want to pay Boku bucks per hour. I don't even know. It's probably $100,000 for 1 hour of Tony Robbins time, but you can work with the Tony Robbins team. That doesn't mean Tony Robbins stops talking. He does. He gets on those stages, he talks, and he creates video content. And then if you want to work with Tony Robbins, well, work with his team. And who's his team? Well, it's probably someone who works for somebody who works for somebody who works for Tony Robbins, but you're still getting the end result, right? Of the coaching and things like that. So the point is, when we do our client content, it's all talking head content. But Septia, to give some ideas of other content that works for videos that's sustainable and you can do consistently, because those go in hand, right? Consistent video content, sustainability, they have to go in hand for this to work. It's not one and done. A lot of people think I got to create a whole YouTube video. Oh my gosh, all the editing, all the research. No. We're creating something sustainable long-term. We do that for our clients because it's sustainable. We can interview them once a month and people trust our clients. They get hundreds of likes. They get bleeds. That works for me. That works for them. But there's other formats that also work well. For example, I will share Loom training videos on my LinkedIn every so often. And that's very low quality in terms of, quality. It's not like this high production. It's just my talking head in the corner, showing my screen, all my messy tabs. People don't care. My audience doesn't care. They want to know, how's the sausage made? I show them and I walk them through. So you can do that for a minute, 2, 3, 4 minutes. And that builds trust in you, showing how to solve a specific problem. So that's another example of a video you can do. But at the end of the day, it's all going to work to build trust for you. It just depends on what your audience really wants from you, what you have capacity for, and stuff like that.
I see what you did there with the sausage metaphor. I liked it.
Yeah. How
excellent. I have one last question before we close this session. Can you give us 2 or 3 tactical tips for people who have solopreneur businesses that are not in your target and who are creating content on LinkedIn, Twitter, and all the social media? What would you tell them to do to get into that?
To get into video?
Yeah.
There's a lot of challenges to getting into video. I hinted at them earlier. There's not knowing what to say, not having the time to record. You go to record and you're standing in front of the camera and you're freezing because you're like, oh, what do I say? And then you do 500 takes and then you're like, wait, now I have to edit this video and it takes forever. So here are 3 tips I'll give you to make that whole process easier. The first is find a buddy to have a conversation with to get around 90% of what to say issues. So go find a buddy and go talk with them about your expertise. And you tell them, you said, hey, I want to do some more video content. I can't afford to hire Justin, but I know I can meet with you and let's talk. And so you ask them a few questions, have them ask you a few questions. Guess what? It's a win-win. They get content, you get content. Take that video and then go and then edit it in your editing software or use Opus Pro, opus.pro, to go and have it automatically find using AI all the best moments. And boom, you had a fun conversation with a friend. You've got your videos. Now, are those videos going to be top notch? No, but it's a simple, easy way to get into video. And one last thing, don't forget that when you post a video, you also need to write, especially on LinkedIn. We're talking specifically LinkedIn here because this is a B2B world. That's what I operate in. You need a text post to go with it. And it helps, right? So you can put a video without a text post, but you're going to get way more performance if you also have a text post because LinkedIn, the algorithm is going to reward the interactions people have with your post. If they click read more, they have to click on that, right? So that's a bling +1 for you in your post. In terms of interaction engagement that you may not think about, right? We only usually see the likes and comments, but LinkedIn is also counting how many times someone clicks play. They're also counting how many times someone clicks read more, how long they're spending on your post. So make sure you add that text post to add length of time and interactions on your video. Now, how do you do that? Well, you go take the transcript. And this is the 3rd tip. Take the transcript of your video, put it in ChatGPT and say, please summarize this for me, edit that, and boom, you've got your text post to go with the video and you didn't spend as much time on it as you needed to.
I hope you guys got that. It will be on the recording, but I hope you guys got that. 3 tactical tips. I'll let you do the closing. Is there anything you want to add to that?
There's nothing I want to add other than the people watching this, Riley, have good things to say. This is my encouragement to everybody. You have good things to say. People need to hear it. So don't discount your ability to be on camera. It's a way easier when you work with a professional, when you work with somebody on the other side interviewing you versus you doing it on your own.
Excellent. How can we find you if we want to work with you? What can we do? How to reach you?
So I post weekdays on LinkedIn, and then people can also see my packages, my pricing, everything's there, what you get, all the goodies. There's lots we didn't talk about today. They can see all the stuff they get by working with me at dialogwith.us.
Excellent. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on this live stream. No safety net. I hope you had a good time. I had a great time.
I did. That was great, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. That was a great session. For those watching the recordings, let us know. Send us a message to tell us if you enjoyed that session, who you'd like to interview next. If you want to be in Justin's seat, send me a message. But if you want to work with Justin, reach out to him, because remember, life is too short to edit your own videos.
Yes, right.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.